Stage in the world, and to see like he's from Egypt, from where I come from, it's it's a blessing just to be in the area where he is.
But for Spokaneites,
we were excited. We thought, oh, that's great. We can go down and watch a team and watch them practice when there's no pressure on them.
and free tickets to see this,
1, 2, 3.
priceless in comparison to the cost of a match in Seattle.
And then we heard what the cost was to go to a game in Seattle, but at least we could see the Egypt team here.
Oh, and Sean, many of the fans who I spoke to planning a trip to Seattle to watch Egypt versus Belgium on Monday. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolter, NonStop Local.
Coming up on NonStop Local at 4, tracking a year since a tense protest against immigration and customs enforcement activities erupted in downtown Spokane. What's happened in these last 365 days. Plus, as the weather warms up, the urge to hit the water grows. What you should know and keep in mind to swim safely, whether it's in a pool, out in a lake, or in the river. And later, it's Patent Thursday. A couple great inventions pending, and it could make your summer just a little bit better.
And I'm tracking a sunny start to your Friday along with warmer weekend temperatures. Your NonStop Local at 4 p.m. starts now.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local News at 4.
It was this time last year, demonstrators against immigrations and customs enforcement activities gathered in downtown Spokane in what they called a show of solidarity with the undocumented community members. Thanks for joining us here on NonStop Local at 4. It's a story NonStop Local first brought to you on the Pulse and led to dozens of people being arrested, some choosing to make plea deals with federal prosecutors while others move forward with a landmark case in federal court that could change the way protest activity is tried in the United States. And following the protest, Spokane City Mayor Lisa Brown and Spokane Police Chief Kevin Hall held a press conference where they called for an independent review of the incident and the response by law enforcement. The police ombuds's office held a public meeting asking people to give feedback on the tactics used during the protest, receiving more than 26 complaints. NonStop Local dug into this and found a 2025 ombuds report that was supposed to be reviewed during a May 17th meeting. That never happened. According to the ombuds, while they are making a closing report, they were unable to complete an independent investigation into police tactics due to, quote, restrictions contained within the collective bargaining agreements with the Spokane Police Guild and the Lieutenants and Captains Associations. The ombuds says those restrictions limit their authority to only observe, review, and certify internal investigations, not conduct their own fact-finding investigation. NonStop Local was told by the ombuds that a memorandum between the city and the unions never happened, meaning the independent investigation never happened. The Spokane Police Guild told us they got a drafted agreement for that memorandum, that they wanted to add language into it to extend the investigation, but an email in January retracted the original request. So what's next in seeing the review report for what happened on June 11th, 2025? NonStop Local's Belle Lewis will have more on that coming up in the 6:30. To a safety alert now, as temperatures rise, so will the amount of people hitting the water to cool off across the inland Northwest. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reporting drowning is the single leading cause of death for children ages 1 through 4. NonStop Local's Melinda Lee found out swim instructors say keeping kids safe starts with choosing the right swimsuit. Here's how to keep your kids safe while around water this summer.
Hey friends, NonStop Local reporter Melinda Lee outside in Spokane enjoying a beautiful warm spring day. And if you have little kids like me, one of their favorite ways to enjoy a day like today is by splashing in some water. And since we know that drowning is the leading cause of unintentional injury-related deaths in children 1 through 4, and that we lose 3 children in the United States every day to drowning, I just spoke with a Spokane swim instructor about what you can be doing to be keeping your children safe if they are going to be hitting the water. That swim instructor, Samantha, tells me that keeping your kids safe around water starts long before they even get to the water with picking the right color swimsuit. And by that, she means picking a bright color that's going to contrast with the color of the water, like a bright yellow or a bright pink, not a blue that could potentially blend in and camouflage your child if they do suddenly become in danger in the water and in need of assistance. And if you're wondering what age to get your child involved in swim lessons, well, Samantha starts teaching children as early as 6 months and actually recommends that parents expose their children to water as soon as they leave the hospital. So if you join me on NonStop Local, I'll be sharing her tips and some adorable children demonstrating that child swim safety to help keep you and your loved ones safe so we can enjoy the water without the danger.
All right, let's bring in our weather forecaster, Tori Smith, who's tracking an incoming spike in daily temperature. So probably a lot of people thinking, hey, maybe water's a good place to be.
Yeah, that as well as heat risk is going to be something that we're going to have to watch out for through this weekend, especially with some of those temperatures warming up even closer to the triple digits as we head towards Yakima Valley and into the Columbia Basin. Right now, it is feeling pleasant outside. You have 71 degrees in Spokane, 73 towards Coeur d'Alene, Tri-Cities, and Yakima, seeing some 80-degree temperatures there, as well as wind gusts roughly about 10 to even 15 miles an hour. Showers are staying north of the Canadian border at this time. We are expecting a couple showers to move through. For tomorrow, that's going to remain across the mountain ranges, especially in the Idaho Panhandle. So, of course, we'll have that coming up for you shortly. That starts after about 12 p.m. for tomorrow afternoon. But for Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, you're sitting nice and pretty, 75 for your high, mostly clear skies, and a 20% chance of those showers for Idaho and Coeur d'Alene. 49 degrees when you wake up tomorrow morning. Yakima, Tri-Cities getting to the mid-80s. We're seeing mostly clear skies and very breezy day as well. So we could easily see a wind advisory. We'll keep you posted on the latest here on NonStop Local. Corey, back to you.
Thank you, Tori. Across America tonight, President Donald Trump is saying we are one step closer to a deal with Iran after calling off strikes set to begin tonight. Our Bradley Warren has the pulse.
Well, the president is claiming that high-level Iranian officials have been communicating with him. And as a result, not only will the United States not be attacking Iran as previously promised, but the president is now saying both parties are close to a deal. It was last night that the president ordered the military to fire roughly 49 Tomahawk missiles at Iran. We brought that to you as breaking news as it was happening. The strikes ultimately hit defense communication infrastructure and certain portions of the Iranians' air ministry, air ministry defense. Ministry, what do they have? What do they call it? Okay.
Bradley Warren having some trouble there in the poll studio. We'll try to check back in with him later. Meanwhile, getting a live look over the Emerald City tonight, the countdown to the World Cup kickoff has officially ended. The first of 3 match days going on today. And while you've probably seen the new look outside of Seattle Stadium, FIFA giving us a look inside the venue as crews put on the final touches. Fox 13's Lauren Donovan gives us a tour.
We are on the move, checking it out.
We were invited for a media-only look at a transformation 2 years in the making. Together, we walked through the press conference room where soon enough, world-famous athletes will have to answer the hard questions. Touring spaces for football fans to hang out and enjoy themselves. There's even a taste of what they'll eat.
We have a chili Achilles.
The executive chef had some samples laid out for us.
We have a Seattle classic, right? We have the Seattle dog.
All this days before Belgium and Egypt fill these locker rooms and then take to the field.
If you'll look up, we have about 45 TV announce positions up in section 335 for all the global broadcasters that will be here.
The entire bowl has been rebranded.
Behind me, you'll see real grass, not turf. Consistency across the pitches, across stadiums is key for FIFA. And they've even got a guy here in Seattle who's dedicated to making it perfect.
We're in Seattle, it can rain, but we have a system on here which just pulls the water out of the root zone as well.
For some perspective, they've raised it 18 inches above the artificial field the Seahawks play on.
We're ready to go.
Over here, they might be match ready, but there's work to be done outside in what's been dubbed the fan zone. A giant ball is still being assembled like puzzle pieces. Crews with power tools are working away. But FIFA assures me in a few days' time, crowds will walk into an exciting space they can explore before and after the game. Reporting in Seattle, Lauren Donovan, Fox 13 News.
Pretty cool. So much going into that. You think you just lay down some grass or something, they play soccer on it, but got to raise it above, they got to count for rain, all that. Very cool. Still to come here on NonStop Local at 4. Hey, it's Patton Thursday, and in honor of the beautiful weekend on the horizon, we're all about yard work and maybe getting out and hitting the links after we're done with yard work. New tools for digging holes and missing birdies. It's coming up in Patton Thursday.
And I'm tracking some of those warmer temperatures and sunshine across the inland Northwest to start out your Friday. We'll have your full forecast coming up shortly.
So right now in Italy, there's a beach there that's making up rules about who can and can't use umbrellas for sun protection. It's at one of the world's most beautiful beaches and is supposedly due to safety reasons.
Corey, that is stunning. Officials managing Punta Molentes say anyone between the ages of 10 and 65 cannot use umbrellas on the beach. The ban includes gazebos, tents, or any other shade systems, and obviously is unpopular with beachgoers. According to officials, umbrellas made it difficult for people to evacuate the beach after a fire started.
It gets even more bizarre, I guess. Those same officials have also banned people from taking sand from the beach, even mandating that people use woven grass mats instead of towels to prevent people from removing even grains of sand.
Okay.
Very particular about their beaches over there.
Yeah, the umbrellas are, that's something else. That's like a skin problem at that point.
Well, I don't know why like 10-year-olds to 65-year-olds would be any less susceptible to the dangers of the sun, so.
I think especially kids would be more susceptible to it.
Okay, well, hey, put on extra sunblock. I don't know how it goes over there, but over here it sounds like we might actually, for the first time, well, not the first time, but one of the rare times this year, need sunblock because this weekend's looking good.
It is looking wonderful. We are expecting a major warm-up on the way, and we already got the sunshine for your Thursday. Temperatures toasty right now, 82 degrees for Yakima, 78 towards, 82 for Tri-City, 78 towards Yakima, and 71 for Spokane. Feeling pleasant outside. We've got some sunny skies. Showers are staying north of the Canadian border at this time, and that's going to be much of the trend as we head through your Friday. So let's go ahead and go into the overnight hours. We see clear skies. Temperatures going to be into the low 40s for some of our northern counties, 50 degrees as you head towards Moses Lake, and the upper 40s for northern Oregon. Overall, that's pretty typical for this time of year. We'll keep a lot of the sunshine as we head through your Friday. However, if you are anywhere towards the Idaho Panhandle, definitely could see some thunderstorm activity developing right into the afternoon hours between about noon and into 5 p.m. So here's a look at your Friday. You can see those showers, thunderstorms staying towards the Idaho Panhandle and into Montana. Much of northeastern Washington could see this as well. That goes for Stevens County, Ferry County, and even as far over as the next county over too. And then I'll continue to track through about 5 p.m. and then they start to dissipate. We see some better conditions as we head into your Saturday and Sunday. We do need to talk about the wind. It's going to be a breezy day tomorrow. Wind gusts anywhere up to 40 miles an hour towards the Idaho Panhandle. And overall, we'll see the wind pretty sustained at right around 20 miles per hour, almost area wide. A lot of that wind starts to die down when we get to the late evening. Highs tomorrow topping out into the mid 70s for the metro area, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, right at 75 degrees as we head towards the Columbia Basin, seeing those temperatures into the low 80s. Those temperatures are about average for this time of year, but we got a major warm up to talk about as we head into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. You can see some of these areas topping over 90 degrees, getting closer to the triple digits as we are heading into summer. So that low pressure system continuously tracking off towards the east. We have the high pressure ridging starting to build up, and you can see this dark coloring starts to become much more prominent as we head into about the next 100 hours or so. So hot temperatures are definitely on the way. The high pressure ridging is continuously building up. We're expecting dry and pleasant conditions for the weekend and early week, 80s and 90s, almost area wide by the time we get to Tuesday. So that's going to be our hottest day of the week. Spokane, 86 degrees, 87 as we head towards Coeur d'Alene. Those temperatures are roughly about 12 degrees above average for this time of year. Gets even hotter as you head towards the Tri-Cities at 101 for Tuesday and 97 degrees for Tuesday as we head towards the Tri-Cities and Yakima. So heat safety tips are going to be extremely important as we head into the next couple of days, especially when a lot of people are hitting the water, they're heading off hiking. Going to be important to watch for any of these signs in your loved ones as well as your fellow neighbors and community members. Heat stroke, here's a couple of those things: confusion, dizziness, unconsciousness. Definitely you're going to want to call 911 if you see anything going on like that in anybody. As we head into Tuesday, not only is it going to be hot, but it's also going to be extremely windy. Some of these wind gusts can gust up to about 50 miles per hour for Tuesday. With the heat, the wind, as well as dry temperatures and dry dew points, we're going to be expecting an elevated fire risk for Tuesday. Dew points are going to be dropping down. Very, very chilly for this time of year, and those relative humidity values are going to be into about the 10% area as well as the 20% relative humidity values. So going to be extremely dry. Here's a look at Monday and Tuesday. That's going to be the days we really watch for elevated heat risk as well as above average temperatures, gusty winds, and dry relative humidity.
Have an idea and you think it'll pay. See if it's been done on Patent Thursday.
And Patent Thursday has returned. It's Tori's favorite day of the week, right?
I know. I feel like I'm always filling in on Thursdays. So this has been fun.
Love having you because if not, Tori gets that fun, but if nothing else, it means that we're that much closer to the weekend, which possibly involves some yard work for you because, Tori, correct me if I'm wrong, if I was listening correctly, I don't want to be telling tales out of school here. It's going to be nice this weekend,
It's
right?
going to be hot, pleasant. Just drink water if you're doing yard work.
Love it, or something else. Our first patent is a different sort of take on a tool that we've used for thousands and thousands of years. It's one of the simple machines that you learn about in elementary school. It's a lever, you know, pivoting fulcrums, allows you to lift heavy loads with less effort. A modern day example would be a shovel, which for the purpose of this patent, I have to assume that we're all aware of what a shovel is, but just in case, this is a shovel, okay? Actually, this is what the patent here, but there's a handle and stuff. But this patent, number 0157254, new take on the shovel. It's a shovel with a multiple spaced apart grips here. This patent was granted to a man out of Sitka, Alaska.
Okay. You must have been tired of the current iteration, but of the shovel, because he added a second grip. As you can see, he says it is the provides the advantages in manufacturing and strength that is not found in prior versions of the shovel. Essentially, it's more ergonomic and thus easier to lift loads.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to take our word for it. You just saw him right there. The art and the patent, the guy, I've never smiled or smirked like this two-dimensional fella who appears to be wearing a propeller hat minus the propeller, but he's enjoying it. So, Tori, what do you think?
I like it.
The new shovel.
Why do all the patents have like the unique drawings of the people in them?
I don't know. There is one coming up that is a little more, I guess, modern.
Okay.
Less hand-drawn than this guy. But anyways, so we've got our holes dug this weekend, right? The yard work continues. And over the past few weeks, I've expressed my displeasure with my electric lawnmower. It's just awful. Do you have an electric lawnmower?
I don't, no.
You have a gas one?
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. It's just awful. I got it. I was thinking, oh, I'll save money on gas. But it came at the expense of a good solid lawn mowing. I don't like it. It leaves patches of long grass. The batteries are failing and will require new ones soon, which if you know batteries for things like that, it's going to cost like a third of what a gas mower would cost anyways. I don't want to go buy a new one, so I'm stuck with it. So yeah, when I do buy another lawnmower, gas or electric, I want it to be patent number 0157278, push mower with comb.
Okay, this patent comes from a man in North Glen, Colorado, who at some point must have thought, how can I improve the performance of this mower? Much like you, Corey, maybe he was seeing patches that went uncut, so perhaps he thought, if I can get the grass to stand up before it hits the blades, that might work. So he put a toothed comb in front of the mower deck that stands up the grass as the entirety of the mower blades they move through, ensuring you get an even more clean cut.
And that makes sense, I suppose, because
I guess it works.
The mower I have, as you push it forward, it pushes down the grass, so this would solve that maybe conceivably. I don't know. I'm in on that one. But hey, finally, the holes are dug. The yard is mowed. Time for some rest and relaxation, or angst and frustration, with a nice round of golf. But Tori, you went golfing up in Chewelah recently. What would you say is the #1 problem facing golf today?
Honestly, I think the clubs.
You got to carry around so many clubs, a whole bag of clubs. What if you just needed one? That would be silly. If you're playing a real golf course, you got to have drivers, some irons, wedges, putters. But maybe with a par 3 course, you could just grab one club. You could get by with that as long as you have patent number 0158337, the Jiffy Putter Golf Club Converter. That's a little more modern example there.
This was made by a couple of guys in North Carolina who probably got tired of lugging around a bag full of clubs, me too, to their local par 3 course. So they said, what if we just had an iron and then some kind of device that could hook up to the iron and make it a putter for when we go hit the green? So they came up with the Jiffy Putter. The name comes from the fact that you can convert your iron to a putter in a jiffy.
And this is also one of those rare cases we can do away with these patent illustrations because this already exists. The jiffyputter.com, it shows how this little cylinder uses magnets to attach to any steel-faced club to turn it into a putter. So on those par 3 courses, if you're anything like me, by the time you get to the green, as long as you got a Jiffy Putter in your pocket, you're a shoo-in for that triple bogey. It is currently selling for $39.99 plus $7 shipping and handling. Dad's Day's coming up. There you go, everybody.
That's a great gift.
Yeah. We'll take a break. That's Patent Thursday. We'll be right back.
watch a suspected drunk driver lead authorities on a high-speed chase right through the middle of a crowded Ironman race.
We gotta stop this guy. He's gonna kill someone.
Newly released dash cam video shows a sheriff's deputy blocking traffic during a May triathlon event in Jacksonville, Florida, when police say he's alerted on radio to a driver weaving through the courses. Moments later, the deputy catches up with the suspect, who continues to speed down streets and across the paths of bike riders and runners. One attempt to stop the car fails, and the chase resumes, reaching reported speeds of 60 miles per hour. After a brief collision, the deputy decides to pull a pit maneuver, bringing the dangerous pursuit to a stop. No injuries were reported, but the department said the driver would eventually face multiple charges after being arrested in front of stunned athletes who were expecting a race, not a chase. Speaking of an unexpected surprise in an unexpected place, watch a tour boat crew rescue a dog that authorities say got swept miles out to sea on an inflatable kayak. The crew with Serenity Farne Island Boat Tours heard a Coast Guard call reporting the dog, named Bruce, had been blown out to sea by strong winds. They found the German Shepherd floating alone in the kayak roughly 2.5 miles off the coast of Farne Island in England.
Hello, buddy.
They brought Bruce aboard and wrapped him in a towel, keeping him safe and warm as they made their way back to dry land, where Bruce was later reunited with his grateful owner. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe with content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local KHQ at 4:30.
Raising the flag at the iconic Space Needle, marking the start of the World Cup summer. Mexico taking the first game against South Africa in a 2-0 score, or as they say in soccer, 2-0, I suppose. As we know, the Egyptian national team making Spokane their home base prior to playing their games in Seattle and all over North America. This comes as a new Egyptian restaurant opened in Spokane just about a month ago. NonStop Local's Noah Bolter spoke with the owner today about how Team Egypt has impacted their startup. Good afternoon, Noah.
Well, Corey, ownership here tells me Team Egypt has impacted their business even without stopping by yet. Let's show you some of their signature dishes. They're actually working. They're just throwing it in the oven right now. You can see one of the chefs hard at work showing that to the people. That's one of their fajitas. And this opened on Northwest Boulevard on May 1st. Having no knowledge of Team Egypt's upcoming visit did the ownership until after plans were made. The impact they have felt, ownership says, has been strong, in large part due to media coverage, which ownership says is especially important because their menu of items like fajitas are a whole new experience.
Most of the customers never tried this before, and we'd like to try it because, you know, now it's not easy to travel to go to Egypt to try. So we bring Egyptio here so he can, you know, so he can try the food and see how the culture about the Egyptian kitchen, all this stuff.
They still hope to serve food to Team Egypt before they leave town, but they're unsure if they'll be able to get a hold of them. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolton, NonStop Local.
You're going to have to go try that. All right. Thank you very much, Noah. Meanwhile, turning our attention to a major construction project that will create a disruption to your commute. The Maple Street Bridge will shut down as of 8 p.m. tonight for 2 weeks. And with that closure comes some major detours to other significant roadways, meaning potential delays. NonStop Local's Jared Cottingham spoke to morning commuters already feeling the pressure to plan ahead due to construction.
Absolutely. Drivers are just bracing themselves in advance for the Maple Street Bridge closure. It'll essentially allow the city's crews to safely resurface, repair both the Maple and Walnut Street corridors. And this is coming at a later time, and the city says they want to close it entirely to just speed up the construction process. Well, one of those drivers just bracing herself is Desiree Norelius. She's a caregiver who relies on the Maple Street Bridge daily. We met at a gas station off the Maple Street Bridge on her way to work. She lives in downtown Browns Addition and says it's pretty difficult to navigate around the Maple Street Bridge's construction, both to drop her son off at school and on the way to work.
I actually take the Maple Street Bridge every single day. It's going to be difficult to find an alternative route, and it's already just backed up and it's not even closed yet, so I'm definitely concerned with future endeavors.
Norelia says she plans to wake up an extra hour and a half earlier until the Maple Street Bridge opens back up. Now, this morning, drivers are lucky in using the Maple Street Bridge as it isn't closed just yet, but when it does close, the city says it should be closed until June 25th. That's 2 weeks. Reporting in Spokane, Jared Cottingham, NonStop Local.
And here's a live look over Spokane, another live look over downtown Spokane. Nearly clear skies around much of the inland northwest today. Weather forecaster Tori Smith in the Weather Center for us today. I got to get outside and go for a little walk this afternoon. It's just gorgeous out there.
It is so pretty today. We got lots of sunshine, and that's the trend as we head through this weekend, Corey.
Perfect. Please.
So I'm bringing the good news today.
I like it. Please tell us.
Yeah, hot temperatures are expected as we head through this weekend. We're seeing the sunshine through the majority of your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the extended future. So current temperatures are into the 70s. We're seeing very beautiful conditions right now. A couple of gusty winds as we head towards the Columbia Basin and lots of sunshine down further towards the south. All of the showers going to remain north of the Canadian border for tonight. This goes through about 10 p.m. for your Thursday as we get to those early morning hours. We're talking about 7 a.m. It's just going to be a pretty start to your Friday. It's going to be a gusty day. We're going to see wind gusts up to about 40 miles an hour towards the Idaho Panhandle, but overall it's going to be mostly about 20 miles per hour across Spokane and into the Pullman area as well as Connell. As we head through your Friday, temperatures are going to be nice and average for this time of year. 75 for Spokane on Friday, mostly clear skies. 75 for Coeur d'Alene as well. Partly cloudy. There is a 20% chance of some isolated mountain showers. Kettle Falls could be seeing that as well, tracking into the Idaho Panhandle. But of course, we'll continue to keep you posted. Lots of sunshine in your future for the weekend. And we've got some very warm, toasty temperatures to talk about for next week. All that full forecast coming up shortly. Corey, back to you.
Thank you very much, Tori. And across America tonight, nearly all House Democrats and 19 Republican House members blocking the passage of a short-term reauthorization of a section of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act just 24 hours before it's set to expire. The vote surrounded extending Section 702 of the Act that allows the United States government to surveil targeted foreign nationals living outside of the United States without a warrant. House Speaker Mike Johnson said he would try to advance the measure at the request of the president, but today's vote makes it unlikely for the extension to pass the House.
Today, we just offered a simple, clean 3-week extension of the FISA national security law.
The Democrats, 199 of them, voted against a clean 3-week extension for political purposes, and when the bill went down, they applauded.
House Republicans, 19 of them voted against the temporary extension of surveillance authority in the absence of meaningful reforms to protect the privacy and civil liberties of the American people.
House Democrats say they voted against the measure because they're concerned with the president's temporary pick for National Security Director Bill Pulte. Shortly after the vote failed, the president nominated former Securities Commission Chair Jay Clayton to the full-time role. So to come this afternoon on NonStop Local at 4:30, it's all about spiders, snakes, and scorpions, including a massive scorpion that was found recently, or at least the remnants of one. We'll talk about that. And then, you know, Leslie Lowe decided not to be here today, and it might be because all the spiders and snakes and scorpions that we're talking about. We're also talking about the latest pet craze, because it was just cats and dogs yesterday. So let's amp it up today, which of course will lead us to our question of the day. Which non-traditional pet would you or perhaps do you own? You can vote now at khq.com/vote. You can scan the QR code to get to that poll, or you can go to my Facebook or my TikTok pages and tell me all about it there. A couple of axolotls. You familiar with axolotls, Tori?
I don't.
Oh, they're pretty fun. They're pretty fun. Well, I don't know if we'll talk about that, but we'll talk about unique pets coming up. We'll Google axolotls in the break. You go vote, and we'll be right back with Tori's full weather forecast right after this. Happening now. Geological discovery, bringing up memories of, you remember Clash of the Titans where Perseus fights giant scorpions? If you're watching, if you remember that. If you thought of the size of them was unrealistic, check this out. You're looking at a scorpion that was more than 3 feet long with 6-inch pinchers living in England almost 500 years ago.
No, thank you. If you thought jumping in the water would help you get away, we have horrible news. This type of scorpion has flaps under its belly that are usually only seen on things living in the water, meaning it was likely amphibious. Originally, scientists thought these fossils were a type of lobster, and many say there isn't enough evidence to prove these are scorpions.
So what did we learn? That there could have been 3-foot scorpions, or maybe they were lobsters? Which, lobsters are the scorpions of the sea.
I'm just happy that I wasn't alive 500 years ago to see that.
500 years ago? Geez, I saw that and I was like, oh, this must be thousands of years ago. I wasn't paying enough attention. That's a 500 million years?
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I was like, that was too soon.
Yeah. But again, scorpions and lobsters, right? You'd think they'd be anyways. Weather time.
Yes, we got beautiful weather ahead. We're gonna shift gears because that just, that makes the hair on my arm stand up. Here's a look over the satellite radar. We are seeing those showers stay north of the Canadian border, sunny skies down further towards the south. And this will be likely the trend as we head all the way through your weekend. However, there is one exception, and that goes for the Idaho Panhandle. When you wake up tomorrow morning, temperatures going to be into those low 40s, low 50s for the Columbia Basin. And here's that exception. By noon, we have a couple of isolated thunderstorms starting to develop and track through the Idaho Panhandle into portions of Montana. This also goes for Stevens County and Ferry County, and this will just be that little portion of northeastern Washington that can see some of those showers and thunderstorms develop. If they do develop, keep in mind the thunderstorm outflow wind gusts can be pretty strong, up to about 40 miles per hour. But overall, we are expecting a breezy day. Anywhere up to about 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible, and 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts for some of those thunderstorms that track through the region. A lot of the wind dies down as we head into the late evening hours for your Friday. High temperatures are going to be average for this time of year, mid-70s for Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, mid-80s as we head towards Yakima, 85 for Tri-Cities. Overall, wherever you're headed, it's going to be a hot weekend ahead. We're seeing a warming trend develop across the inland northwest. Sunday and Monday going to be well above average for this time of year, and that's because we have high pressure ridging starting to build off up over the coast. This is going to bring us those hot temperatures, dry and pleasant conditions through the weekend. 80s and 90s by early next week. These temperatures are well above average for this time of year. So that's going to be high pressure ridging taking place. That'll keep the storms away at least through the weekend and into your early week. Dry conditions and hot temperatures are on our horizon. We have 83 by Monday in Spokane, 86 for a high on Tuesday. And for Coeur d'Alene as well, or in 87 degrees. Wednesday, Thursday, still going to be hot, still going to be well above average for this time of year. It's going to be extremely important to keep an eye on your loved ones, on your friends, as well as your surrounding community. Here's some of the signs to look for. Definitely going to see heat safety through this weekend. Heat exhaustion has dizziness, thirst, heavy sweating, nausea, weakness, and that can elevate as you head into heat stroke. Confusion, dizziness, and unconsciousness is going to be something to look out for. And of course, if any of these do happen, here's what you can do. You can loosen clothing, sip cool water, and seek medical help if there's no improvement. However, if there is heat stroke, make sure to call 911 immediately and get them to a cooler climate as slowly as possible. Okay, futurecast wind gusts. We're going to start to see an increase in wind as we head into your Tuesday. This is going to be extremely critical as we have very dry conditions on our horizon for Tuesday as well. It's going to be the hottest day possibly of the year so far, mid-80s. Towards the Columbia Basin, they're actually going to see closer to about 100 degrees, and relative humidity values are going to be in about 10% to 20%, which is extremely, extremely dry. So here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Remember, Monday and Tuesday are going to be our elevated fire risk days. Just keep in mind to try to stay away from any type of burning outside during this time. Wednesday and Thursday looking hot as well.
Welcome back. Well, it's a good thing that Leslie Lowe isn't here today because she would not be a fan of this next story. And yesterday, Tori, we talked about pets in the traditional sense, cats and dogs. We both have coonhounds.
Yes.
I assume you fall under the dog column in the cats versus dogs.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of cats. Sometimes it can be cute, but I think I much prefer dogs.
Okay, well, where do we stand on non-traditional pets? Because in college, I had a ball python, and it was cool. And I was never sure if it was a boy or a girl, but other than just kind of hanging out in the tank, it didn't do much. I mean, I would hold it. It was very calm. It was very gentle. I ended up giving it to a friend at the West Valley Outdoor Learning Center. Unsure if it's still alive. I hope it is. But, Tori, in talking non-traditional pets, there's a sort of craze and a specific type going on right now. Jumping spiders.
Oh.
Which, as far as the spider goes, definitely the cutest of the spiders, right?
No.
Yes, look at Are you not a fan?
I'm not. They look a little scary. I think
that's a cute face.
They look hairy. They've taken off in popularity thanks to viral social media videos that feature them almost acting like little dogs, seemingly playing with those who are handling them. One spider shop owner, yes, there are apparently spider shops, but one spider shop owner near Portland, Oregon, told NPR they went from selling 3 to 4 a week to thousands a week. Many who get jumping spiders as pets were terrified of spiders to begin with, and the majority of people who are buying them are women. So ladies, what are we doing?
Well, it's all about overcoming the fear, I guess. I don't know. And those who are breeding and selling the broods of spoods, spoods is what the internet has determined is slang for spiders now. I feel very cool. But many who get into the jumping spider world find them to be like, as you heard, they're little dogs, little cats even. Lots of personality. They like to stalk things and play with things and move around. But here's the thing. They're pretty easy to care for, too. One step up from a pet rock, one breeder said. They require small enclosures. They do need live bugs to eat. That can turn some people off. Because I guess what I was reading, they turn their bugs into like little smoothies.
Ooh.
Because they like the liquid inside the bugs. Anyways, sorry. And they're just about as likely to get lost as a hamster, which I lost a hamster or two, so take that for what it's worth. They do live 1 to 2 years. They do bite, but rarely, and they say it feels like a bee sting if they do, and they cost anywhere from $30 to $100. This is actually a picture from PetSmart's website advertising them for about $40. And of course, as with any pet, do your research beforehand. Make sure it's something that you can handle before you make that commitment. They are a living animal. They will depend on you for survival, so do that. But Tori, I'm not a spider person. I've been trying to give them grace. If one is in my house, I trap them. I escort them outside while giving them a stern talking to not come back. But maybe a jumping spider is the next step in my arachnophobia rehabilitation.
Seriously?
What do you think?
I'm not in, no. And I don't like to put the spiders outside because they'll just come right back inside.
Not if you give them a stern talking to.
Oh.
If you say, don't come back in or else.
I'll have to try that next time.
Please do. I don't know, I felt bad squishing them. And then my kids, they see me do it and they say, don't kill it. So now I let them outside and say, don't come back. All right. Colette says, as far as non-traditional pets, because here's what that was our poll. But Colette says, I want a mantis shrimp. Are you familiar with mantis shrimps?
I've never heard of that before.
A mantis shrimp has a powerful raptorial appendage that will, you put them like face to face with a crab or something, they're going to eat the crab. They're going to kill the crab. They're very powerful little shrimp. I got into octopi on TikTok, and then that led me into mantis shrimp. They're very cool. Look them up.
Okay, well, and Sue said chickens, pets who give you eggs. You know, I can get on that board with that one. I like chickens.
There you go. Pets who are working for you. Lori says, spiders are always welcome in my house. I keep water and dead insects in their bowls.
And Vicky said, we had hedgehogs. They are so cute with soft tummies, wonderful pets with great personalities. I like that one too.
I think the mark of a good pet is if they want their belly rubbed.
Yeah.
They're probably a good pet.
Yeah. Like our coonhounds.
Like the coonhounds. There you go. So there you go. If you have a jumping spider, let us know what that's like. If
Send
it's
us a
working out
picture.
for you. Send us a picture of your jumping spider pet, please. And we'll take a break. We'll be right back after this. Right now, some ducks employed by a Michigan winery are quacking the whip. Had to get that pun out, to keep the harvest and soil healthy and free from pests.
Instead of replaying on pesticides, Dunebird Winery uses ducks to remove pests like slugs and snails and other bugs that eat the vines and limit harvest.
They're called Indian runner ducks because they're actually flightless and were bred specifically to eat those insects and slugs and stuff. The vineyard actually got the idea from another producer in South Africa, and they believe Dunebird is the only vineyard in the country to use the ducks. It's part of the vineyard sustainability plan to keep pesticides away from their water supplies and, of course, wine consumers.
If you reduce the pesticide consumption, automatically you will increase the sustainability in your vineyard, because we are very close to lake, and any runoff from pesticide can cause some significant environment challenge for us.
In honor of their hardworking, web-footed coworkers, the vineyard is offering a special bottle for the weekend, named after their ducks with a special duck label. That is just so precious, and I love the way they waddle.
You're a fan of the ducks, but not the jumping spiders?
Yes, I'll take the ducks any day, but just not the spiders.
They're both cute.
No, these ones are
the
cuter.
Spiders could help with pests and insects around there too.
I'll take these ones over that.
And the ducks would eat the spiders. Yeah, it's probably best to separate them. All right, well, there you go. Duck wine, everyone. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. And we have this just in. Important stuff here. Seafood chain Red Lobster running an interesting contest as its endless shrimp promotion winds down. The chain giving away a steel card granting the holder a free endless shrimp meal once a month for 25 years. 25 years, that's 300 free endless shrimp meals, and it comes with a biometric safe and a year, for some reason, of jiu-jitsu classes.
You got to work it off.
I don't understand the connection there, but okay. Or you could pick the 15 grand that they could give away instead, but who would do that? You just got to go look for the posts on social media announcing the contest. I just want to throw this out here, though. I don't think there needs to be a competition. Red Lobster's watching, Tori. I look pretty good with that card.
This? No way.
I don't know. I don't know about the jiu-jitsu classes, but I'll take that too. I don't know.
Did you Photoshop yourself in there?
Our producer Colette did that, and
I love it.
Yeah, I think it looks great. 25 years of endless shrimp. And you know, we did shrimp earlier in the show, or not shrimp, but scorpions.
Yeah.
And then we went to the snakes and the spiders.
And mantis shrimp?
Mantis shrimp.
So that's a version.
I wouldn't eat them. They'll punch you right back. But that one, hey, free shrimp for 25 years. Go to Red Lobster, everyone, if you want to find out how to enter for that. That's all the time we have for today. I'm going to go think about that endless shrimp, and maybe one day it will be mine. But hey, NonStop Local at 5 with Sean Owsley is going to start next. You're going to stick around for that too?
I am.
All right. Well,
see you
Tori
then.
will see you then. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.
Coming up next at 5, 1 year since protesters clashed with Spokane police officers. Now we're asking questions about the status of an independent investigation and whether the police response to those protests was justified. Later, the color of your child's swimsuit matters for their safety. The surprising reason you want it to stand out.
And I'm tracking a sunny day ahead for Friday with breezy conditions and a warm weekend ahead. We'll have more on NonStop Local at 5.
Sean Owsley and Leslie Lowe with content connecting our community. You're watching NonStop Local KHQ at 5.
I made the decision that the safest course of action was for Spokane police, not ICE, to try to safely disperse the crowd, try to convince the protesters to leave, and if not, to follow through with arrests of any violation of Spokane Municipal Code.
That, of course, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown 1 year ago tonight, speaking to members of the media after Spokane police used smoke canisters to disperse protesters rallying in city streets. Those officers making dozens of arrests at that time. The incident, the result of an escalation after former Spokane City Councilman Ben Stuckert called for support after 2 men were detained by ICE during an immigration check-in. Protesters assembled to prevent ICE from transporting those 2 men to a holding facility in Tacoma, Washington. Good evening. Good to be with you tonight. I'm Sean Owsley. During that news conference, both the mayor and police chief Kevin Hall stated they were calling for an independent investigative review. Enter the ombudsman's office. In August, held public meeting to hear from people about the tactics used that day. The ombuds office received 26 complaints related to what happened on city streets. Since then, nothing of note on the record regarding to its investigative review. So NonStop Local started digging to learn when a report would in fact be issued. And that's when we found this, the 2025 Annual Ombuds Report, as part of the agenda packet for the May 17th meeting, which did not happen. The meeting was canceled. In the report, a communication from Ombuds Bart Lowe containing 3 paragraphs linked to the investigative review and the June 11th protest. These paragraphs for our first indication that while steps had been taken toward reviewing the incident, a fully independent investigation could not happen. Let's bring in NonStop Local KHQ's Belle Lewis tracking this story for us tonight. Good to see you, Belle. You join us more on why that is. What did you learn?
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Sean. 1 year ago today, I was actually standing on the corner of Washington and Cataldo filming some of the arrests, including former City Council President Ben Stuckert, and also capturing the law enforcement response. Now, obviously, SPD responding to the area, leading to smoke being deployed. And Sean, that news conference that you just referenced a moment ago included not just an explanation of how police responded, but the next steps city leadership was calling for in reviewing the tactics used by SPD that night. Bottom line, both Chief Hall and Mayor Brown wanting the review to be independent. The 2025 annual report giving us our first glimpse into that process of making that review and of the challenges the office faced in conducting its investigation. And I want to read you part of this second paragraph because it's addressing specifically the independent investigation. Quote, while the OPO initiated preliminary steps towards such a review, the OPO was unable to conduct an independent investigation due to restrictions contained within the collective bargaining agreements with the Spokane Police Guild and the Lieutenants and Captains Association, which limits the OPO's authority to observation, review, and certification of internal affairs investigations rather than independent fact-finding. Now, we reached out to the police ombuds for the city of Spokane, Bart Lowe, for clarification on his published statement.
I think if ever the mayor and the police chief ask for their oversight agency to take an independent look into something, I think the city needs to be in a place where we can do that. There shouldn't be a lot of back and forth.
That back and forth referring to a memorandum of understanding that Logue says was necessary to conduct that investigation. And we want to be clear, an independent investigation is not the same as an independent review. And the memorandum to conduct that investigation, the Ombuds writes, was not completed. And I also want to be clear, I sent an email to the Spokane Police Guild to ask about their collective bargaining. I received a call from a representative from that organization saying that they had received a draft and had wanted to add some language to extend the investigation, but they received an email early this year in January January, speaking as to the status of that internal investigation and retracting the original memorandum request. Again, that's according to a representative from the Spokane Police Guild. Now, as I was tracking this story, the next big question here is if the Ombuds office couldn't do a fully independent investigation, they were limited to that review, does that mean that no complete report can be expected? We're told that we will see a report that has been certified by that office but comes from Internal Affairs. I'll break down what that report is likely to contain tonight at 6:30. Reporting in studio, Belle Lewis, NonStop Local.
Belle, thank you for those clarifications. NonStop Local KHQ also reached out to the two parties calling for the independent investigation, Mayor Lisa Brown and Chief Kevin Hall. We got responses from both. Bell spoke directly with Chief Hall. You'll hear from him coming up tonight at 6:30. Mayor Brown's office provided us a statement in response. Mayor Brown says, quote, believes in and remains committed to this review process as well as ensuring the OPO maintains its ability for independent reviews. The criminal trial for a former Spokane County Sheriff's deputy expected to start early next week. Today, the defense team for Clay Hilton giving a preview of their strategy. In this document filed today, attorneys for Hilton say that the former Spokane County Sheriff's deputy intends to claim self-defense in the case and intends to seek indemnification and reimbursement from the city and the state. Hilton was fired by the sheriff's office a year after this incident where he's captured on body camera video, removing Kevin Hinton from his vehicle at a Spokane Valley Park after hours. In a civil complaint, Hinton claims Hilton used excessive force, resulting in serious injuries, including broken ribs and a punctured lung. Clay Hilton says he took these steps after Hinton refused to provide identification. Jury selection is scheduled for Monday. All right, weather forecaster Tori Smith in for Leslie tonight, providing just nothing but good news when it comes to the forecast. It was a spectacular day. I was out in it working, but the sunshine felt good.
And it felt much better than the last couple of days when we saw that rain. So we're really on the good end of the week now.
Yeah, I'm going to take sunshine over drizzle anytime.
Yes, me too.
Okay.
We've got some hot temperatures to talk about as well. So not only the sunshine, but we got a major warm up on the way. By the time we get to the late weekend, those temperatures just feeling absolutely wonderful right now. 73 in Spokane, 73 degrees towards Coeur d'Alene. Calm winds at this time, and they're a little bit breezier as we head towards the Columbia Basin. All the shower activity and thunderstorm activity remains north of the Canadian border for tonight. So overnight you've got clear skies. Should be a perfect night for any stargazing or any outdoor activities. Maybe if you're heading to dinner, you've got some great weather ahead. As far as tomorrow goes, it's going to be a bit breezy. We're going to see wind gusts up to about 25 miles per hour for the metro area. However, we're expecting some thunderstorms and showers through the Idaho panhandle. So definitely could see some wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour if there is a brief thunderstorm that rolls through the region. As for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, highs tomorrow going to be into those mid to even upper 70s. We're expecting mostly clear skies. And remember, Idaho has that slight chance of seeing a little bit of rainfall as we have those thunderstorms possible. So 20% chance for rain for Coeur d'Alene. These are going to be brief showers that move through and then they're out and you get nothing but sunshine for this weekend. We'll have a look at your full forecast coming up shortly. Here's Sean.
All right, Tori, thank you. We are approaching now 1 year since the Canfield Mountain ambush. That is still hard to believe. That tragically took the lives of 2 battalion chiefs, injured a fire engineer in North Idaho. Today I drove out to Post Falls and spoke with the chief at Kootenai County Fire and Rescue, as well as Captain Seth Hohenstreet, who was integral in responding that day. Here's a portion of our conversation.
The construction workers at Highway 41 stop and take off their helmets and put it over their heart. I mean, that just honestly brought tears to my eyes, you know, and it was people, they're with us. I mean, they might not have been there that day. They might not have been with us in the station. They might not have been with us back here making the plans that none of us ever want to make, but they knew that we were there. And then the other would be, I like to call it hugs and high fives. You know, the bro hugs that you get, you know, just to see people that, to have conversations and see people come together that maybe didn't necessarily have a closeness before, but you look at each other different now. And so to have those moments where you walk into a room and it used to just be, hey, how you doing? Now there's a bro hug that goes with it. There's a connection there that's we're more aware of those relationships, and we hold them a little closer than we probably did before.
An official memorial ceremony to honor the fallen firefighters, Battalion Chief John Morrison, Battalion Chief Frank Harwood, planned for June 29th at McEwen Park in Coeur d'Alene. Cooney County Fire and Rescue and the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department will hold the public remembrance at the Avista Pavilion. It'll start at 10 a.m. You are invited to attend, but officials say parking and access will be limited that day. If you cannot make it, we here will stream the entire ceremony live on SWX and our YouTube channel. We're also preparing a special 30-minute program at 6:30 that evening to honor the healing as they move ahead. Continuing coverage now as a man appears for his arraignment after investigators say he killed his wife in North Spokane. 42-year-old Josiah Ballinger has been held on a $1 million bond in the Spokane County Jail since his arrest on Sunday. Investigators say the victim's son, a teenager, called 911 to report her death, telling dispatch his stepfather killed his mother. The medical examiner identified the woman shot killed as 41-year-old Rachel Ballinger. Today, Josiah Ballinger entered a plea of not guilty. Straight ahead tonight at 5, we did speak with a Spokane swim instructor who says keeping children safe in the water starts with choosing the right swimsuit. Melinda Lee with a safety alert tonight as the kids will want to head to the pool this weekend.
And I'm tracking sunshine and a weekend warm-up on the way, as well as hot weekend temperatures to start out next week. We'll have a look at your full forecast coming up shortly.
Well, as those temperatures rise, so will the amount of people hitting the water to cool off. CDC reports drowning, the single leading cause of death for children ages 1 through 4. One Spokane swim instructor says keeping children safe in the water starts with choosing the right swimsuit. NonStop Local KHQ's Melinda Lee met with her today to share life-saving tips for children around the water.
Hey friends, NonStop Local reporter Melinda Lee outside in Spokane enjoying a beautiful warm spring day. And if you have little kids like me, one of their favorite ways to enjoy a day like today is by splashing in some water. And since we know that drowning is the leading cause of unintentional injury-related deaths in children 1 through 4, and that we lose 3 children in the United States every day to drowning, I just spoke with a Spokane swim instructor about what you can be doing to be keeping your children safe if they are going to be hitting the water. That swim instructor, Samantha, tells me that keeping your kids safe around water starts long before they even get to the water with picking the right color swimsuit. And by that, she means picking a bright color that's going to contrast with the color of the water, like a bright yellow or a bright pink, not a blue that could potentially blend in and camouflage your child if they do suddenly become in danger in the water and in need of assistance. And if you're wondering what age to get your child involved in swim lessons, well, Samantha starts teaching children as early as 6 months and actually recommends that parents expose their children to water as soon as they leave the hospital. So if you join me on NonStop Local, I'll be sharing her tips and some adorable children demonstrating that child swim safety to help keep you and your loved ones safe so we can enjoy the water without the danger.
Well, right now, a major developing story tonight. President Trump saying they are one step closer to a deal with Iran. Let's bring in Bradley Warren, the pulse on this following the newest developments. Bradley, what have you learned at this hour?
Yeah, Sean, well, it's the president who right now is claiming that he was in conversation with high-level Iranian officials today, and as a result, he will not be attacking Iran tonight, as he previously promised. Of course, you'll remember last evening it was a much different conversation, but now it looks like, according to the president, the United States and Iran are close to a deal. Last evening, it was 49 Tomahawk missiles that were fired at the country, striking air defense and communication infrastructure. But today in the Oval Office, we heard a different tone.
We just made a great settlement of the war with Iran, and we're going to be subject to finalization of documents. We should get done over the next few days. We'll probably have a signing maybe in Europe.
Yeah, so the president said that the deal that right now is in the works could be signed by the vice president as early as this weekend. So we watch very closely to see if, in fact, that happens. The signing, though, of course, has been months and weeks of hard work from both sides coming together. As we know, the Qataris were in Tehran yesterday for a meeting. The president, after making this announcement, of course, immediate ramifications in the oil market. We saw prices ease there. And you'll remember last week, the president said we were close to a deal, but Israeli strikes in Lebanon and a downed U.S. helicopter derailed the conversation. A readout from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office today shows that the Israeli leader spoke with President Trump, saying that Israel would support a potential agreement with Iran. So right now, all we can do, Sean, is watch and wait, but it does look like this weekend, potentially, there could be a headline.
Yeah, delicate talks right now. Bradley with the latest at this hour. Bradley, thank you. You can follow Bradley and Pulse 5-minute news segments every hour with all the breaking news you need real time as it happens. NonStopLocal.com or the NonStop Local app. All right, Tori's in for Leslie tonight, and the forecast is a warm up and some sunshine, Tori.
Yeah, Sean, that's right. We're expecting sunshine to continue area-wide throughout this afternoon and early evening. All those showers staying far north of the Canadian border, bringing us nothing but sunshine as we head through our weekend. Here's a look into the overnight hours. It's a little bit of cloud activity towards the Idaho Panhandle. Temperatures overnight going to dip down into the low 40s for those northern counties, 46 in Spokane, 45 in Pullman, and 47 as we head towards northern Oregon. By the time we get to noon, anywhere across the Idaho Panhandle can be seeing a stray shower or even a brief thunderstorm rolling through the region, and that continues for portions of Montana as well. That's going to be northwestern Montana. This can also be seen in northeastern Washington too. However, if you're towards Spokane, you're going to be seeing nothing but sunshine as we head through your Friday. It's going to be a breezy day. Overall, we're going to expect winds to be anywhere from 10 to about 25 miles per hour, gusting up to 40 miles per hour towards the Idaho Panhandle and into Montana. That's going to be your highest wind range is going to be in this region. Those die down overnight. Temperatures are going to be into the mid 70s for the metro area, going to be closer to the 80s as we head towards the Columbia Basin and the Yakima Valley. And this trend of warmer temperatures is going to be start to seen more exponentially as we head into Sunday and Monday. Some of those temperatures actually getting closer to about the 100-degree range by the time we get to Tuesday next week. And that's because we have high pressure ridging starting to build up just off of the coast. This is going to bring us that hot temperatures for Tuesday, dry and pleasant conditions as we head through the weekend. 80s and 90s is going to be much of the trend for early next week. So here's a look at Spokane, Coeur d'Alene topping out into those low 80s by Monday. We're seeing 86 degrees by Tuesday. Averages this time of year are just under 75 degrees. So it's going to be a toasty week ahead for next week. Remember, if you have any plans this weekend, if you're heading out to the lake or if you're even going for a hike, it's going to be important to keep an eye on your loved ones, your neighbors, and just the community in general. If you notice heat exhaustion, those symptoms are going to be dizziness, thirst, heavy sweating, nausea, and weakness. So this is what you're going to do. If you see somebody having these symptoms, move them to a cooler area, loosen clothing, sip cool water, and seek medical help if no improvement concludes. Heat stroke is confusion, dizziness, and unconsciousness. Call 911 and move to a cooler area if you do see any of those symptoms. As we move ahead, Tuesday is going to be the hottest day of next week, and we're expecting very breezy conditions as well. Some areas could even gust up to about 50 miles per hour as the system rolls through. So that's going to be extremely critical as we head into fire season. We're also expecting roughly about 10% relative humidity for some of the northern counties on Tuesday. So remember, elevated fire risk for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
Live from the Northern Quest Sports Studio. This is SWX NonStop Local Sports.
The Seattle Mariners got the best of Baltimore in Game 1 and 2 of the 4-game series over on the East Coast. But Game 3, something shifted for the M's. They came out with a 7-2 loss to the Orioles. Baltimore scored all 7 of their runs before the Mariners even got on the board, including a 7th-inning grand slam from Jackson Holliday. Pitcher Brandon Young also showing out, going 7 innings, allowing no runs. When the Mariners did start scoring in the 8th, it just wasn't enough. As for today, well, plenty of scoring on both sides. I'll tell you this, Brian Wu not having the best night, 6 runs for the Orioles already. And the Mariners trying to creep up, lessen that lead. We'll see if they'll be able to pull off the comeback here. The Spokane Indians won late in Game 2 versus the Eugene Emeralds, the home team taking the Game 1 victory. So a fresh start to get ahead for either team. Keep in mind, Eugene leads the Northwest League standings by 9 games currently. Must be nice. Now we know when the Cougars and Eagles will meet again for the 509 Classic. December 22nd of this year will be the second of 3 meetings under this title for the matchup. WSU secured a 15-point victory in the last meeting. So we now know your holiday plans, Sean.
Yeah, there it is. Let's book it. And I want to recognize Austin Getz for a second. He has picked every NBA final game correctly. Midway through last night, we were giving him a hard time. And they came back and he pulled it off on the shot.
It's the boss man.
Yeah.
It's reason.
Austin running a tight ship. He's still recovering. That's why he's not on camera tonight. All right, we'll see you coming up at 6.